Now, from the mouth, the food entered into the, we have seen, esophagus, the long tube. This long tube is called as esophagus. Esophagus can also be called as food pipe. So, when I talk about this esophagus or food pipe, how it is? It is connected right from your pharynx, yes, right from your pharynx till the stomach, and it is long and cylindrical structure, like a pipe, almost like a pipe. And the walls of this esophagus is lined by mucous membrane. Yeah, the long food pipe internally lined by sticky membrane called as mucous membrane, slimy substance, so that food can be easily passed from that area. And the food passes here like wave-like movement. This wave-like movement is nothing but we call it as peristalsis. Contraction and relaxation of this tube-like structure called as peristalsis. And it is muscular and elastic. That means it is made up of muscles and it is elastic in nature. Esophagus is muscular and elastic in nature. And the contraction and relaxation of that food pipe is called as peristalsis. We will see what is peristalsis and how peristalsis occur. So this is about esophagus. So even, ma'am, how esophagus is connected, how the peristalsis is carried out. So the peristalsis in the esophagus is again under the control of brain, under the control of autonomic nervous system, that is the brain stem. It is under the control of autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system initiate the peristalsis movement in the esophagus. And hunger pangs under the control of 10th cranial nerve, that is vagus nerve. So you are seeing each and every process of the food is again under the control of our brain, and even other systems are also connected with that. Coming to next is, now the food entered into the stomach. Stomach can be called as a mixer and also a digester, almost like a mixie. You have a mixer, you make the juice in your home. Exactly. Same way, stomach is the mixer and also the digester. Why I am calling stomach as a mixer and digester? Because as soon as you consume the food, now your esophagus is there, your long esophagus. Now the food entered here. The food entered inside this. You can see all these are the food materials. So when the food is entered here inside this, all these are the food material. As soon as the food enters, what happens? The walls of the stomach releases a very strong acid called as hydrochloric acid and some gastric juices. So as soon as the food comes here, there is one sphincter muscle called as cardiac sphincter. And here also you have one more sphincter muscle called as pyloric sphincter. So you have two sphincter. At the top you have cardiac sphincter. As it is towards the heart, we call it as cardiac sphincter. And you have one more sphincter muscle towards the stomach called as pyloric sphincter. As soon as the food enters inside the stomach, both the sphincter muscles get closed. And like how we close the mouth of gander, like that, both the sphincter muscles get closed. Sphincters are nothing flap-like structure, strands, they close. And the stomach is now with the food, hydrochloric acid, other gastric juices, they all mix like anything. How in the mixer, how the fruits rotate along with milk, along with water, along with sugar, here also all the substances get rotated. How they get rotated? What exactly is happening here? Because the stomach will undergo peristalsis. Yeah, peristalsis occurs even in the stomach also. Contraction and relaxation. And it occurs in 3 different stages: propulsion, grinding, and retropulsion. I write here what are the 3 stages. The first stage is propulsion. Second is grinding. And third is retropulsion. What do we mean by this propulsion? Propulsion is nothing but where the wave-like movements are created and the food in the stomachs get smaller pieces or mixed with the hydrochloric acid and the food is broken down. That process is called as propulsion peristalsis. So here peristalsis occurs in the propulsion stage. Coming next to the grinding, in the grinding stage also most of the food will convert into very fine particles by vigorous grinding. इतनी ज़्यादा so much of grinding occurs here, students. A lot of grinding and the food converts into slurry mass, or I can say podridge, like podridge, almost like dalim, how halim looks to us, same like that the food becomes here in the second stage, that is grinding. So vigorous grinding of the food occurs that results in the breaking of the food into podridge. Podridge is nothing but very slimy food. Then the third stage is called as retropulsion. What happens here in the retropulsion? In the retropulsion, I told you, there is one sphincter, it is closed. Here also there is one it is closed. Now the sphincter opens. The sphincter opens and the food is taken. The food is moved bit by bit into the small intestine. So from the stomach, now the food is going into the small intestine. That process is called as retropulsion. I repeat, retropulsion is nothing but sending back the grinded food into the small intestine, where the pyloric valve opens, sends the food bit by bit into the small intestine. Now the food entered into the small intestine. What happens? But before going to that, might be you are having doubt. Ma'am, hydrochloric acid, our chemistry ma'am or our chemistry sir said that it is very strong acid. If one drops fall, it can make hole in our clothes or it can make even hole in our body also. So how, hydrochloric acid is released? The acid present here is hydrochloric acid, HCl. How this hydrochloric acid does not damage our stomach? Do our stomach will not get any small holes on it? No, beta. Always thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. No machine can do like that, because as I said you, esophagus is having mucous membrane. Even in the stomach also you have outer lining, inner lining called as mucous membrane. Mucus is nothing but sticky substance. The sticky substance is called as mucus. You want to know what is actually mucus? Sometimes even mucus, we will remove it also, and we call it as phelgum or bulgum. When mucus becomes waste or it is not useful, it will be removed from our body in the form of phelgum. But don't remove it more and more. Don't remove. It is not the good habit. It should be present in our respiratory system, in our digestive system also, so that we will be stay healthy. So this mucous membrane, when hydrochloric acid is released, it does not allow our stomach muscle to get damaged. So ma'am, since so many years we are consuming food, since so many years hydrochloric acid is released, so do mucus does not get thin, or it cannot get very less after so many years? No, beta. It forms and forms. There are some gastric glands here. They always forms a layer again and the cycle continues. So to check that, there is one experiment. You take 2 leaves, beta. You take 2 leaves. You apply Vaseline. You know Vaseline? Generally, during winter season and all, we apply this Vaseline and all. Apply Vaseline to one of the leaf, and another leaf, you keep it untreated. Don't use Vaseline. Now take a drop of dilute hydrochloric acid and drop it on both the leaves. Okay. Dilute hydrochloric acid with the dropper. And you drop that on both the leaf. When you drop it on both the leaf, you can see that when you are dropping hydrochloric acid here, and when you are dropping hydrochloric acid here, after some times, the leaf treated with the petroleum jelly will look green. It will not damage. But the leaf without petroleum jelly will become burned, dried. So how petroleum jelly is protecting the leaf from hydrochloric acid, our stomach walls are also protected from hydrochloric acid. So this is the experiment to show. Then